Okay. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh. Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Okay, so hey, Shalom. Salakia for that. Alarm on my truck had went off. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Racha HaKodash. Shalom to the Akim on the comment board. Shalom Pashai. Pretty much, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to stream for because I'm waiting for a phone call. And I got to help a brother out. So I'm just waiting for his call. So in the meantime and in between time, I want to just go live as long as the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai allows me to. This morning I was reading the book of Job. I read the first 10 chapters. And I remember roughly about a year ago, maybe a little longer, I believe it was in one of the end transits we were doing. Apostle Tar had mentioned how he wanted to do a review on the book of Job. And it always stuck with me. And when he said it, in my mind, I was like, yeah, I would like to do the same, or at least read up on the book of Job. Let me know if you brothers, if the stream is messing up or not, because it's saying it's just let me know if it seems like it's back on. But anyway, like I was saying, ever since he said that, I've been, Pastor Tar said that he wanted to do a review on the book of Job. And ever since he said that, I thought of at least, going back and reading, the book of Job. And it always stuck with me, and I always wanted to do something on it. So seeing that I read it this morning, and I said, let me just go ahead and try to do something on it, and I'll just try to stream as long as I can. Like I said, I'm waiting for a phone call. So we're gonna go through it, because the bottom line, when you read the book of Job, Job was a righteous man. He was not an Edomite. He was an Israelite, a righteous man that feared the Most High. He eschewed evil, meaning he avoided evil, but off of a bet that the Most High had with Satan, everything that he had was taken away from him, and he still had to maintain his integrity to the Most High. He didn't charge the Most High with folly. He was angry, of course. He cursed his day, the day that he was born. He was angry because he couldn't understand why he was going through what he was going through, and everything that he did was he tried to do the right thing, and pretty much that's how we feel today also. There's times when we're doing the work of the Lord, because we ain't shit. We go off, we're not perfect, so we know that whatever we get, we deserve it, but when you go out there and you teach the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and you're doing the best you can to serve the Lord and to uphold his words, and stuff still goes wrong for you in your daily life, you get aggravated sometimes. It's like, damn, man, what is the Lord trying to do? Is he trying to destroy me? And that's pretty much how Job felt. Now, when you read the book of Job, Job pretty much represents the nation of Israel in the low condition that we're in, and to go even a little further, he really represents the elect, right now. But in the kingdom, we know that all Israel is going to be saved, so Job pretty much represents the nation of Israel in this low condition that we're in. And eventually at the end, he came through, and the Lord blessed and increased him, so without further ado, let's just get into it. Job 1:1, it says, there was a man in the land of Uz. Now the land of Uz, the word Uz itself is from the Hebrew word Itazah, I believe it is, which means trees or tree. So pretty much this land of Uz is the same land where Esau dwelt in or lives in, Lamentations 4 and 20, what is it? 21. Lamentations 4:21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. So because the Edomites dwelt in the land of Uz, automatically they say that Job was an Edomite because he lived in the land of Uz, and that he had an Edomite friend named a Temanite, you know, and that's what they base Job being an Edomite on. And besides, at the end of the book of Job in the Septuagint, they put a footnote that he was an Edomite. So that's their proof. But real quick to disprove that Job was an Edomite, let's go to the book. I believe it's Job 41. Is it 41? Or is it 40? Just bear with me one second. 40 and 11. Yep. Start at 40 and 10. Jeremiah 40 and 10. As for me, behold, I will dwell at Mizpah to serve the Chaldeans, which will come unto us. But ye gather ye wine and summer fruits and oil, and put them in your vessels, and dwell in your cities that you have taken. Likewise, when all the Jews, keyword Jews, that were where? That were in Moab, in the land of Moab. You have Israelites in the land of Moab, Jews, and among the Ammonites. So you had Israelites that were among the Ammonites, and in Edom. So you had Israelites that were in Edom. So just because somebody is called a Temanite does not mean that they are an actual Edomite. You know, it depends on where their lineage goes back to, because you had Israelites in the land of Moab, Ammon, Edom, and all those other lands out there, because Israel was scattered. All right, so that knocks off that BS that Job is a Edomite because he lived in the land of Uz. So that I just wanted to disprove that real quick. But anyway, there was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job. The name Job is Ayawab from the Hebrew. Ayawab, where is it? Right here, Ayawab. They say hated. You know, in some places it's right here, hated. An example, persecuted. You know, the patriarch famous for his patience. You know, so pretty much, you know, the name Job pretty much is like a nomen omen to the things that Job was going through. You know, it says, and that man was a perfect and upright man. Now we know off the bat that Esau is not a perfect man. He's not a moral man. He's a devil that the Bible speaks of, and he's considered the wicked. You know, and we know that the wicked do not have the integrity to serve the Lord or to do the right thing for the Lord, because it goes all the way back to the curse that was put on Cain. Okay, Psalms 36:1, to the chief musician, the Psalm of David, the servant of the Lord. The transgression of the wicked saith within my heart, that there is no fear of the Most High before his eyes. So these devils, these Edomites, do not fear the Most High. All right. So when it says that Job and that man was perfect and upright, that's another cut that he was an Edomite. He's an Israelite, and one that feared the Most High. We just read that they have no fear of the Most High. It says, and one that feared the Most High and eschewed evil. Now the word eschewed is to avoid, but let's see what they say here. Sawar, to turn aside, depart. Yeah, to avoid it, to depart, to turn aside, turn in unto, to depart, to be removed. All right, so to turn away from it. All right. Hey, Shalom, Mark, after Shabbat.
Hey, now, Shalom. I'm about to let Shabbat stop. Hey, now, just call it touch base with you. Hot second. Yeah, bro, just move that one. I'm still trying to, God, they always in the DMV. And we still trying to fucking DMV, but real willing, they'll call my woman soon. She's going to get a title for the fucking truck.
Okay. 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 Okay, cool, no problem. Con, yep, that's right, bro. Con. 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 Yeah, con. Yeah, they do that on purpose. Con. Hey. Yeah, it's aggravation. Hey, brother, I don't need to be short, but all right, okay, so those were the student corner. I told you, so you call me, shoot down to no, but you didn't know. That's what I thought. You don't know that I'm still. Yeah. Now that's why, bro. You just upset. You just letting out some steam. All right, hey, y'all should shut up that. Shut on. All right, Salakia for that, brothers. I had to take that call. Yeah, so going back to where we were at, read that again, Job 1:1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared the Most High and eschewed evil, meaning he avoided evil, as we read. Okay, now let's read on down. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also with 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels and 500 yoke of oxen and 500 she-asses and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the East. And that was something similar that was said about King Solomon, that he was one of the greatest men, you know, in the East, you know, among all those different kings, you know, among all those wise men back then, he was considered to be one of the top and the richest, you know. So this man Job, you know, not only did he fear the Lord, not only was he a perfect and upright man, not only did he avoid evil, not only did he have 10 children, but he also had great substance, you know. It says, and the Most High blessed him so. It says, and his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one in his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them, because you know Jake likes to party. It says, and it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed the Most High in their hearts. Thus did Job continually. So in other words, he would pray for them and offer sacrifices for them in case any of them went off, you know. So he was doing it for them, you know, for the Lord to protect them and keep them, you know. It says, now there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them, which shows you also that Satan is a son of the Most High. Like they say, Satan got cast out of heaven. Him and the Most High had a falling out, you know, and Satan left and said, the hell with you, and I'm going to take a third of the angels with me. That's all nothing but fables, you know. And this proves it, because Satan is going before the throne of the Lord, you know, because he was given a certain period of time, him and the wicked angels, to do mischief on the earth, you know. And eventually there's going to come a time when that's going to stop. And then the only time these demons are going to fuck with anybody is going to be Esau and the other nations, you know. So this is showing you that Satan goes back and forth between the heaven and the earth and converses with the Most High, and they have meetings, they have councils, you know. You have the right hand side of the angels and you have the left hand side of the angels. All right. It says, and the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it, you know, causing havoc and mischief, you know, because the Lord gave him that power. It says, and the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth the Most High and escheweth evil? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, doth Job fear the Most High for naught? So pretty much they're having a conversation in the heavens, right? Because it said that the sons of the Lord came to present themselves before the Lord, right? It says, hast thou not made an hedge about him? And I was watching the brother Pashai's video earlier, Elder Pashai, his video. He was doing something about the hedge, you know, and this hedge that Job had around him was because the Most High put that hedge around him. There's angels that are around us that watch and protect us, you know, from certain things that are happening in the world. You know, a good example of that is the Apostle Paul. The Apostle Paul was on a ship, and the ship was on its way to Rome, and he told them not to cast off because, you know, there was going to be bad weather, but they didn't believe him. You know, so what happened was a boat and just getting all jacked up, the winds and the tempest and the storm was tearing the boat up. But he told him, don't worry about it. None of you is going to be harmed, because my angel, of whom I am, sat with me this night and told me that everybody's going to be delivered. There's only going to be loss of the ship. You know, so each and every one of us has what they call a guardian angel, you know, that watches and protects us. So this hedge that the Lord made about Job, he made a hedge so that no harm can come to him, his family, or his substance. You know, it says, and about his house and about all that he hath on every side, thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. So Satan and them other demons couldn't go past that hedge. They can go around, they could look, but they couldn't attack because the Lord had a hedge around Job and around everything that he has, you know. But put forth thine hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. So pretty much this is a bet pretty much that the Most High made with Satan. And Satan was telling him, you got a hedge around him. Of course he's going to love you and fear you, you know, because you got a hedge around him. You're protecting him, you know. But take everything from him, and he's going to curse you to your face. And Yahweh said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. He was what? In the presence of the Lord. The presence of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Now check this out. I want to show y'all something. Show you how devilish these devils, these demons are. I looked up the word presence, right? This is the word presence right here. Now you see here it says pan yum. Now the word panya is face, you know, or being in the presence of somebody. But now notice they put pan yum, which is the plural. Let's go to it. Pan yum, which is the plural. Where did I see that at? Right here, faces. You know, so in other words, they're trying to allude to the Most High having, you know, many faces. You know, because they're trying to push that what's the word I'm looking for? That Trinity BS, right? But now check this out. When you go back and you read through here, this is just a footnote, and you read through here through the Hebrew portion of it, right? You come to Hashatan, the adversary. Ma'aim, here you go, Panya, singular, see? Panya Yahweh, the presence of Yahweh or the face of Yahweh. Okay, singular, not plural. But when they wrote it down in the root transliterated, they put it plural. That's just a little footnote to show you how these devils operate. So pretty much Satan went from the presence of the Lord and he came down to wreak havoc. And at this particular time in the fight, the Most High took away the hedge from Job, but not because he hated Job, not because Job did anything wrong, but it was a thing of proving him, of testing his integrity, of seeing what he was really made of, you know. And as hard as it seems, it's like, damn, but the Most High was testing him, and the Lord can do that. Now, there's a scripture here, I believe it's Deuteronomy 13. Let me see. Let me okay. Deuteronomy 13:1. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or wonder come to pass, meaning it happens, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods. So if the sign comes to pass, then he says to you, you know, that he says something's going to happen, and it happens. Then after they say, look, let's go after these other gods, these foreign gods, right? It says, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for the Lord Yahweh, your power, proveth you to know whether you love the Lord your power with all your heart and with all your soul. See? So the Most High was proving Job, you know, with all the hell that he put upon him. You know, I mean, it's rough, but that's how the Most High is a rough teacher, man. All right. So going on, reading on, it says, and there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house, and there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the asses feeding beside them, and the Sabians, which are Hamites, fell upon them and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone of to tell thee. So now this bet that the Most High made with Satan, you know, for the Lord to take his hedge away, caused servants to lose their lives. You know, caused the cattle to be taken. You know, caused the Sabians to roll up in, you know, in his where his substance was, and take, you know, the substance. You know, it says, while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the fire of the Most High is fallen from heaven and hath burned up the sheep. So now here it is, the Most High caused fire to come down from heaven and slay the sheep and the servants. So more life or lives were spent or killed for over this bet. But the thing is, it seems harsh, it seems crazy, but as we read, this is the Most High's way of proving you. And that's a rough thing, man. And that's what the scriptures speak about, the patience of Job, you know, in the book of Hebrews, I believe it is, or James, you know, because that takes a man of integrity to be able to lose all of that, go through all of that, and still maintain your integrity and still maintain your loyalty to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, so here it is, it's one thing after another after another. So it's like there's certain days, right, where when you get up in the morning and you know you stump your toe or something don't go right, or you spill your coffee or your tea, you know, or you get ready to butter one of those dry ass Trump biscuits and the shit falls on the floor or falls in the garbage. And that just sets the motion for your day. And then you go out of your house, get ready to go to work. There's a flat tire on your car. Now you got to fix that flat. And as soon as you fix the flat, you start going on your way to work. You get pulled over. You know, you get a ticket. Then you get to work, and there's a demon just jumps on one of your co-workers and start fucking with you. You know, and then as you're trying to deal with that, you know, trying to get in the zone to work, here it is, your woman's calling you, talking all kind of shit, you know, and it's just like one thing to the other throughout your whole day, to where by the end of the day, you're spent, you got a fucking headache, you know, you're aggravated, you're pissed off, you're angry. So this is what was happening to Job, but these things that were happening to Job was things that are unbearable. See, while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, it said, the Chaldeans, which are Cushites, made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels. Well, they either Cushites or Assyrians, because I know Apostle Todd went through that all of those Babylonian kings, they were all Assyrians. The Chaldeans were wise men, you know, which ruled in Babylon, but they also could have been Assyrians also. You know, I would have to do some research on it. It says the Chaldeans made out 3 bands and fell upon the camel. So here it is. His sheep got smoked. His servant got smoked. You know, his servants got slain. They took some of his substance. The Most High destroyed some of his substance. You know, these other heathens are taking stuff and have carried them away, yea, and slain the servants, more lives lost with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. And this is something that's being told to Job, one thing after another. Once one guy finishes telling him one thing, a calamity that fell, here comes another one, and then another one. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house, and behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. So all these things just overwhelmed Job to the point where it was just, at first he was in shock, you know, from you know, because it was like, you got to remember, it was rapid fire. Once one bad news ended, here comes somebody else with more bad news. Once that ended, another person with bad news. When that ended, another person with bad news. And it came to the point where it says, then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head and fell down upon the ground and worshiped, because he didn't know what else to do. He was grief-stricken. So he was so grief-stricken that when you read about his friends, when they came to see him, it said that they sat down with him for 7 days without uttering a word, because they saw that his heaviness was great. You know, and these are things to consider too when we go through stuff, that, you know, we catch hell, but you know, the Lord makes a way for us to be able to get through it. And you have to remember, back then, men were a lot stronger than they are right now. Yep, like the brother KDC put, 2 Samuel 22:6, the sorrows of hell compassed me about, the snares of death prevented me. You know, so the Lord only is going to put upon us only what we can bear. He's not going to put on us more than we can bear. It says, and said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return hither. The Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai gave, and the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai have taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord Yahweh. So pretty much he blessed the Lord because he understood that it was of the Lord. But what he was puzzled about was that he was trying to figure out, what did he do wrong for this thing to happen? And a lot of times we think about that, you know. Now, Job was a righteous man. You know, we don't consider ourselves to be righteous like him. So when things happen to us, we're automatically trying to figure out, what did I do something now? Is it something I did before? Or is it something I did in the past life? I mean, it just all different types of stuff just goes through your mind, you know. Oh boy, we got a cockroach. Yeah, well, it is $40 parking in Manhattan. That is hell, man. The fuck, you know, nobody got no goddamn $40 to be spending on parking. Sounds brother KDC, Psalms 18:50. Great. I mean, hey, if you could send us the money, you know, and then we'll pay for the parking. Psalms 18:50. Great deliverance. Give it. Don't send no money though, because we don't want your money, because at the end of the day, the Most High cut off 34th and 7th, you know, and there's gonna be a bigger reason behind it, you know. And these guys that are scoffing, they're gonna have to put their foot in their mouth. Psalms 18:50, great deliverance giveth he to his king, and showeth mercy to his anointed, to David, and to his seed forevermore. That's right. That's right, brother. Yaikwab Yashala. That's powerful. He still gave all praise to Yahweh. That's right. So it says, so he blessed the name of the Lord. In all this, Job sinned not, nor charged the Most High foolishly. You know? But he still was trying to figure out what was going on, because it was grievous. And then after all of that, right, here comes more. Job 2:1. Again, there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. And the Lord said unto Satan, from whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord, and he said, from going to and fro on the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth the Most High and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. See? So it was to destroy him without cause, but it was a proof. The Lord was proving to Satan that no matter what you do to this man, he's not going to turn against me. Why? Because he is part of the elect, and because the Spirit of the Lord is upon that man. You know, so no matter what the elect go through, they will continuously have their integrity, or keep their integrity with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And that's the reason why when you read the book of Job, you can apply this to the nation of Israel. Yeah, that's right, brother Abadja, spiritually boot camp. That's right. It says, Abai Bat Salakia. It says, and Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath will he give for his life. But put forth thine hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. So that wasn't enough for Satan. You know, not enough that he lost everything. You know, but now he wants to touch his flesh. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. So in other words, the Lord gave him power to afflict his flesh, but not to take his life. So when people say that Satan kills, well, only if the Most High allows Satan to kill. Because the Most High is the one that controls. To the Lord, matter of fact, this is Psalms 68:20. It says, he that is our power is the power of salvation, and unto the Most High, the Lord, belong the issues from death. So to the Lord belong the issues from death, you know? Hey, well, the Lord told Ezekiel to prophesy to the wind. So what you got to say about that? Talking about there's no breakdowns in the desert, no men to fish in the desert. Hey, well, the Lord told Ezekiel to prophesy to the wind. You know, hey, wasn't John the Baptist in the desert? Didn't Yahushua go out to the wilderness? Anyway, it says, verse 7, so went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. So that's hell, man. Being in grief stricken from the loss of your loved ones and all your substance, and also to have all these boils on your body, hurting, itching. You know, it says, and he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. So those boils were itching him. So he took a potsherd, he started scratching himself, you know. So you gotta realize the misery that he was in. It says, then said his wife unto him, now on top of all of that, right? He lost everything. His flesh is filled with boils. Now here come the nigga woman giving him more hell on top of that. Then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse the Most High and die. So here it is. While the woman had all the substance, and they had all those goodies, and they had all those riches, and they had all those children, everything was hunky-dory. But the moment calamity comes, here comes Calamity Jane popping off her mouth, talking shit. Instead of comforting the man, you know, here it is, she's cursing him out. It says, but he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. So you a fool, bitch. You speaking like one of them fucking foolish women. You know, it says, what? Shall we receive good at the hand of the Most High, and shall we not receive evil? So he cut ass. And all this did not Job sin with his lips, see? But she went off. You know? But that just goes to show you that when you're doing good, the woman's right there with you. But it's the moment you lose, you know, you lose stuff, you lose substance, she's right there at the door. Did he lose everything? Yeah, oh, I'm out of here. You know? Yeah, that's right, brother Abba Ibad. He said, and I bet this hell was crazy because a few hours earlier, everything was amazing for him. That's right. So he went from a moment of prosperity to a moment of total calamity. What is that scripture in the Apocrypha? In prosperity. And then there's another one. If you brothers know what I mean, if y'all could help me out. Let's see. Let me see. Let me try adversity. There's a particular point. Ah, man. Yeah, this is good. This is a good one. Brother GMS Quanawath, Ecclesiasticus 11:25. In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction. And in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity. Perfect. Beautiful, brother. That's the one. And the brother Karatas also came in. He put the same scripture. So that's it, you know. So like the brother said, in one moment he was everything was hunky-dory, and the next moment his whole world came crashing in. So he forgot about all the prosperity because of the afflictions. You know, likewise, when we're in an affliction and then prosperity comes, we forget about the afflictions, that's going to be in the kingdom. It says, now when Job's 3 friends heard of all this evil that was come upon him, they came every one from his own place. Eliphaz the Temanite, which was an Israelite that lived in the land of Teman. All right. And we showed you that there were Israelites in the land of Teman, or in the land of Edom. And Bildad the Shuhite and Zophar the Naamathite. These were all Israelites that were friends with Job, and they came to see him and to mourn with him. For they had made an appointment together to come to mourn with him and to comfort him. So they got together and said, look, let's go down, let's go, see him, and see how he's doing. We know he's catching hell, so let's go try to give him some kind of comforting words. Maybe our presence, will comfort him. It says, and when they lifted up their eyes afar off and knew him not, they couldn't even recognize him. They lifted up their voice and wept, because that's here there's this man. You got to remember, from the prosperity that he was in to the low condition he was brought, they didn't even recognize him. And they rent everyone his mantle and sprinkled dust upon their heads toward heaven. So they sat down with him upon the ground 7 days and 7 nights. It says, and none spake a word unto him, for they saw that his grief was very great. So his grief was very great, man. So it was to the point where, like, if you see a brother that's down and out, he's, hey brother, what's going on? You try to give him some kind of comforting words, or try to help him out, or tell him it's gonna be all right. But he was so bitter and such sorrow that there was nothing they could say but hold their peace for 7 days straight. And you got flies buzzing around. Here it is, we going into great breakdown of a great man, and you got this fucking fly buzzing around talking about some goddamn parking. I should give him the spiritual raid. What y'all brothers think? Should I give him the spiritual raid, or should I let him buzz around? Hey man, why don't you go ask Trump for one of them dry ass biscuits, man? This is Job 3:1. After this, opened Job his mouth, and notice he gave them black women them dry ass biscuits with no jelly, man. Nothing to put on it. And one more word out of you, man. And he said, burn them banner. You know what? Fuck it. That was 4. Let's see. Bye, Roach. All right. So I'm gonna go through some of the 3rd chapter. If I can get through the whole thing, that's good. If not, I'll probably end it here. But just remember, that this man was going through all of that, all those hardships, but he still maintained his integrity to the Most High. And our Lord's will, I think it's James the 4th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. Or was it the 5th chapter? Just bear with me 1 second. That's a goddamn shame, man. But the scoffers, there's a necessary evil. They got to be a part of this, So Job 3:1. After this, opened Job his mouth and cursed his day. And Job spake and said, let the day perish wherein I was born, and the night in which it was said, there is a man child conceived. Let that day be darkness. Let not the Most High regard it from above. Neither let the light shine upon it. Let darkness and the shadow of death stain it. Let a cloud dwell upon it. Let the blackness of the day terrify it. As for that night, let darkness seize upon it. Let it not be joined unto the days of the year. Let it not come into the number of the months. Laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. Salakia, man. I'm thinking about that goddamn dry ass biscuit, man. That's why I'm trying to like focus, but I keep thinking about that dry ass biscuit that Job want Jake to eat, man. Salakia, brother. That fucking folly of that damn dry ass biscuit is on my mind. Job 3:7. Lo, let that integrity be solitary. Let no joyful voice come therein. It says, let them curse it that curse the day, who are ready to raise up their mourning. It says, let the stars of the twilight thereof be dark. Let it look for light, but have none. Neither let it see the dawning of the day, because it shut not up the doors of my mother's womb, nor hid sorrow from mine eyes. So pretty much Job wanted that day to be cursed. He didn't want to be born. Be born into what? Be born into this misery. It It says, why died I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the spirit when I came out of the belly? Because he understood that he wouldn't have to deal with what he was dealing with. That's why the Apostle Paul said that he was in a strait betwixt two, you know, desiring to depart and then going to be with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, which was far greater, but he knew that he had to stay here and suffer because he had a job to do to raise up these men that were given to him. Why did the knees prevent me, or why the breast that I should suck? For now should I have lain still and been quiet, I should have slept, then had I been at rest with kings and counselors of the earth. So pretty much when you die, you're at rest. You know, the body goes into the earth, and the spirit goes back into the heavens. And in the heavens, we have spiritual bodies in the heavens, or celestial bodies in the heavens, where when the spirit enters it, there's no pain. You know, the body is pained because it's on the earth, you know, and this body decomposes, it breaks down, you know, and that's why you get all those pains and all that, because, you know, that's part of the curse that came upon us when Adam, you know, went off. So he wanted to just go back in the spirit world and relax and get away from this. Now, there's a scripture in the Apocrypha that says that when those that are sick, when they die or something like that, then they're happy when they can find a grave, something like that. Job 3. Okay, no, it's in the same chapter. Right, 22nd verse, which rejoice exceedingly. Job 3:21, which long for death. 20, wherefore is light given to him that is in misery, and life unto the bitter in soul, which long for death, but it cometh not, and dig for it more than for hid treasures, which rejoice exceedingly and are glad when they can find the grave. See, so that's, you know, when you catch in hell, when you go into the spirit world, there's peace, you know, there's rest. You know, it's not like here on the earth. You know, you either have problems, you know, sicknesses, or you're being oppressed by somebody. You're gonna be oppressed by somebody, whether it's your woman, whether it's your boss, whether it's your family, you know, whether it be whoever. You know, it says, verse 17, there the wicked cease from troubling. I'm sorry, verse 14, with kings and counselors of the earth, which built desolate places for themselves, or with princes that had gold, who filled their houses with silver, or as in hidden untimely birth I had not been, as infants which never saw light. There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. So everybody rests in the spirit world, you know, and that's why they wanted to leave. Job wanted to leave because he was catching hell, man. And look at, and when you go back and you read everything that he went through, man, he went through all, lost everything, lost his children, you know, lost his health. And on top of that, lost his woman, and his woman was bitching and complaining at him. You know, it's enough to make you go crazy. It says, there the prisoners rest together, they hear not the voice of the oppressor. The small and the great are there, and the servant is free from his master. Yeah, because there's none of that, no oppression. Wherefore is light given to him, and when you get there, Satan doesn't spin you around and pop you in the ass like Yeshaya had said a long time ago. Wherefore is light given to him, everything is peaceful, everything is in proper order. Wherefore is light given to him that is in misery, and life unto the bitter in soul. GMS Benjamin Israelite, Sirach 41:2. O death, acceptable is thy sentence unto the needy, and unto him whose strength faileth, that is now in the last age, and is vexed with all things, and to him that despaireth. The water, brother, that's a good one, and hath lost patience. Beautiful. You know, so this is the point that Job was at. He was in the bitterness of his soul, you know, and shit. I mean, we get all upset and mad and pissed off just little things that happen to us during our days, you know. But this man, that was right, a righteous man that feared the Most High, that eschewed evil, you know, that did everything that he could do to help anybody around him, give him comforting words when they were down and out. help them out if they needed money or if they needed food or whatever, then all this came upon them. And it all came upon him in one day. You know, like the brother Abai Bad put, you know, he said all that hell came upon him, and hours before that he was cool, he was straight. Yep, that's right, the brother Yawana Banyamyan. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. That's right. The brother holding firm unto the end. Job, an example we should remember and follow when our trials come. Yeah, and this is the reason why the scriptures are written. You know, this is the reason why we have scriptures like this written. What is that? Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. To know that, look, we're not the only ones going through this. You know, you go back and you see what our forefathers went through. They held their integrity, and the Lord eventually brought them through. You know, and we have to keep that in mind. You know, sometimes it gets hard, it gets trying. You know, but that's when we have to pray to separate the flesh from the spirit. All right. So going back to Job 3, wherefore in 20, wherefore is light given to him that is in misery, and life unto the bitter in soul, which long for death, but it cometh not, and dig for it more than for hid treasures, which rejoice exceedingly and are glad when they can find the grave. Why is light given to a man whose way is hid, and whom the Most High hath hedged in? Why? Because the Lord had him hedged, but then he took the hedge away, and now the hedge that's there, which is them spirits, them demons, fucking with Job. You know, for my sighing cometh before I eat, and my roaring are poured out like the waters. For the thing which I greatly feared is come upon me, and that which I was afraid of is come unto me. I was not in safety, neither had I rest, neither was I quiet, yet trouble came. All right, so I'm gonna close it up with this, James 5, and I'll start at 10. Take my brethren the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Behold, we count them happy which endure. See, and it gets tough, it gets hard, but we have to pray to the Lord Yahweh B'Shem El Shai not to take away the suffering, or not to take away the afflictions or the tribulations and the trials, but to give us the spirit to be able to endure it and deal with it, because that makes us stronger. Like Bruce Lee said, pray not for an easy life, but pray for the will to endure a hard one, or something along those lines, which is true. You know, because through that fire comes strength, internal strength, you know, a spiritual strength, you know. But at the time when it's happening, it doesn't feel good, you know, and you get all, you know, mad and pissed off and tight, you know. But at the end of it, look at the fruits. It says, behold, we count them happy which endure. You have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercies, because he gave Job, was it like 2 or 3 fold what he had? Beautiful, brother KDC, Psalms 37 and 23. It says, the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. Right. And then the 37th verse says, mark the path of a righteous man, for the end of that man is peace, or something along those lines. So, you know, when we go through these things, we have to reflect back to what is written in the scriptures to give us comfort, allow us to continue on this quest, so to speak, that the Lord got us on. All right. And you know, you brothers see the prophecies popping off and things happening. You know, this stuff here is happening so that when the time comes, these people are going to get caught up into it, but the Lord is going to deliver us out of these things. You know, this is 1 Corinthians 11:32. This is my favorite scripture. But when we are judged, we are chastened of the Lord, that we should not be condemned with the world. And that's why the world does not get chastened. They go on, they do whatever they want. The more wicked they are, the more it seems like the more healthy they are, the more vibrant they are, the more happy they are. You know, but with that happiness and that non-chastening or correcting, the Lord is going, when the Lord gives them that correction, it's going to be full blast, you know? So, you know, with that, you know, this has just been a, you know, a look into the book of Job, went through 1, 2, and 3. If the spirit jumps on me, you know, I'll go through more, you know, because this is very good, comforting scripture, especially when you first, you know, start feeling that fire and that tribulation. This is a very good book to read because it does comfort your spirit, you know, because you think about the things that Job went through and how he just kept his integrity and how the Lord kept blessing him and kept having him push forward, man. You know, that's right. The brother Amawan Gabar said, embrace our afflictions. Yeah, because our afflictions are going to make us stronger. You know, I mean, it doesn't feel good. It feels like you want to pull your hair out of your head and scream, but at the end of it, you know, you'll see the benefit. All right. So with that, I hope you brothers have learned something. To the next time I say, you brothers have been edified. And to the next time I say, Shalom.